Working on a Jeep today at Latour's Auto. What Pete told me is we think might be a fuel pump. It's a no start. He sprayed some starting fluid in it. Seemed like it wanted to start, but not really. So let's get the scanner on this. Let's let you hear it crank first, I guess. All right, start or cranking this. Engine RPM is there. Actual desired cam crank positions are okay. This is showing 85% ethanol. So maybe running some flex fuel in this. I had a feeling that this was not a fuel pump issue. I think we're like flooded maybe. So just some questions I have in my mind as I'm thinking about where to go next is like, I am worried about alcohol percentage. Your entire injection pulse width can be altered and the car could actually be flooded if there's not 85% alcohol in there. If it's running on an 85% alcohol fuel curve, your injector pulse is much wider than it would be if it's straight gasoline or under 10%. So that's a concern.
She said when she first bought it, she put 94 in it a few times.
She hasn't been running E85.
She didn't run E85. Yeah,
so
we've been running 87 the whole time, though.
So we have an 85% alcohol concentration, and that's why this is flooded. I'm reaching out for a lifeline here. 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 3.6. I'm showing 85% alcohol, and the customer doesn't run flex fuel gas. And I can't find any reset procedure on I'm using Snap-on scanner. I don't see anything on resetting it, and I don't even know how it's calculated on this one. Wonder if I should go back to my house and grab my Autel or one of my top dons.
Oh, you have to, it calculates like the GM auto calculates. You have to change the fuel level. This guy says perform a battery disconnect. So
yep.
Disconnect the battery, hold the cables together.
Okay.
And you have to add fuel. You have to have a fuel level change.
While the battery's
back to normal.
While the battery's disconnected?
Nope, you're gonna hook the battery back up and then you'll key it on so it sees the fuel level, and then you'll key it off, and then you'll fill it with like 5 gallons of gas.
Yeah.
And start and drive, and it will auto. That's how Fords are.
That's not going to help me because I need this to be 0 to get it to start. It's running off of a, you know what I mean?
It's freaking flooded, right?
Yeah, it's flooded. Absolutely, it's flooded. Now we walk away, do some homework, and then we come back. All right, guys, we are back at Latour's. It's about 4 or 5 days later. The Jeep's been sitting all this time. A few things. Number one, I'm not getting lost in this car. I'm not that invested in it. 2011 Jeep, got no information on it, spent time researching on Pro Demand, Mitchell, nothing. 0 information on the flex fuel system on this Jeep. I could buy service information from the factory, go in, research, do all that. I'm not doing it. There is no sensor. It's absolutely assumed based on oxygen sensor fuel trim when there's no flex fuel sensor. It's not measured directly. I did a couple more things off camera. I contacted a buddy of mine, PJ, who Voltage Drop Diagnostics, who does all my brother's programming. I was going to try to get him down here and do a reset or whatever, and he's 99% sure that that's not going to fix it either, and so not really interested in the job. Here's what we're going to do. Number one, we're going to confirm it's flooded, and you're going to see in these images, I made Pete over the weekend pull the plugs out on the bank that you can get to without pulling the intake off, and look how wet they are. They are soaking wet. The reason that I had him do that, I was just concerned maybe I'm missing, because I never checked spark or injection pulse or any of those things. I was convinced, still am convinced now, of this alcohol percentage. We're over fueling. So it's flooded. I want to do a quick compression check on one cylinder while we're in there today. Make sure compression looks okay. We're going to put a shot of oil in each cylinder, clean the plugs, put those back in. Okay, I'm not going to try to start it just yet. Then we're going to put the scan tool on it so we can look at that alcohol percentage. Then we're going to turn the key off, and we're going to drain 5 gallons of fuel out of the tank. I'm going to put my pressure gauge on it. We're going to energize the fuel pump relay with the scan tool, and I'm going to drain 5 gallons out of the tank. We're going to disconnect the battery, do a cap discharge. Then we're going to turn the key on so the computer gets a fuel measurement. I'm going to turn the key off. I'm going to put that 5 gallons back in, right? Turn the key back on so the computer registers a fuel level increase. That's the goal, the fuel level increase. Then I'm gonna try to start it. If I can get it to run on those 3 cylinders long enough to keep it running, then we go drive it and we should be able to get this thing to correct. That's my hope. And if we can't do it, we're walking away from the Jeep and I'm gonna send it to the dealer. I hate to say that. That like pains me inside, but we're gonna walk away from this Jeep if I can't get this alcohol percentage reset. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Wish us luck. Let's go. Send it to the dealer. That's like sacrilegious.
That's like saying, not my problem.
I know. Hey, Pete. Yeah. Let me see your compression gauge real quick. It sounded good when we cranked it. I was pretty comfortable with that, but I want to just double check. Here, take a look at these plugs. They're no longer wet with fuel. I mean, this one on the end, you can kind of still see it. We're gonna clean these. I'm gonna put oil in the cylinder to restore compression with the rings. Hopefully we can get this engine started and running. You got a plug cleaner? Like one of those sandblasters? I thought you did.
I have a bead blaster back here. Let me see if I can get them.
Yeah, can you do that? I also need a 5-gallon, empty 5-gallon container. Because I was gonna pull fuel out rather than go to the gas station and get it.
Right.
I'm gonna pull fuel out of it and then put it back in. All right, hope you guys are following that train of thought. Props to my friend Brian Pollock, who suggested this process of putting gas in it and try to get it running. We did also look, if you remember, at desired cam and actual cam position on both banks from memory. Those looked good. No trouble codes at all. I'm not suspecting any kind of jump chain. It cranked normally. I think compression's good, but I just want to verify that on 1 cylinder. I mean, compression sounded okay, but you know, to prove it to everyone else, just to, you know, there's many reasons an engine can flood. We can have a compression issue. Shoot, I've had one I can reference to you guys here, that 3-part series, me trying to get this old school 3800 started, and the fix or the diagnosis in part 3 is I actually licked the spark plug because I was worried about coolant, and they were wet from coolant. It wouldn't start. I did everything I could, and it was leaking from the EGR passage in the intake manifold, and I missed it. So lots of things can make an engine, quote, flood. Look at that. Check that thing out. Yeah, that works.
It'll work. It'll stick down in there.
Can you crank this for me, Pete?
Yeah.
Might try to start. I got the coils unplugged too, by the way. Okay. All right. Oh, it won't stop on its own. So that was hitting like 125, which is actually kind of low, but man, do I smell gas so bad. You smell that?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. That's a little low. I don't like that. I'd like it to be higher, but that's not our problem, Pete.
And you're not threaded in.
No, correct. Yeah. Man, is that bad. Smell that. I wish we could smell the on the camera, because that is a ridiculous amount of fuel. Okay, I need oil. You got a little squirt container, like a flexible. Where's the battery at too, Pete? Did you find it? Is it in the back,
Right there on the
back seat? You did the cap discharge already, right?
Yep.
And they had no symptoms, correct? It was running fine.
She said.
No issues at all.
Bought it, I mean, the car was sitting for, a while, but she bought it and was driving it for a few weeks.
So a few weeks of driving, that's it. She's only owned this car for a few weeks?
After she bought it off her friend's brother,
Okay, and then she got fuel, and then that was it?
And she had, I think she put fuel in it, but yeah, just regular fuel.
Battery is back there. A weird spot for a battery. So you had terminals off, you touched them together, yes?
Yes, sir.
So I don't even need to do that part then.
That working as well. I got another.
I needed a different one.
You probably
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Good work.
Yeah, we're good. Be nice if I could get it like actually in the cylinder though. Dude, this thing's like leaking everywhere. Like squirting oil all over my hands. I wish I could get to the other 3 plugs, because I do the same thing, clean them up. So a little trick of the trade when you have a flooded engine is to put a little oil in the cylinders. That just helps the rings. When you have a flooded engine, you have cylinder wash is what it's called, where you have loss of compression from the gasoline washing the oil off the cylinder walls. And so when you put a little oil back in it, helps to restore compression, get a flooded engine started. One of the things I said in the truck, which is like a word I never say, is like, send it to the dealer. Like, I just hate saying that. It just feels like the worst idea ever. But maybe what we can do too is if we don't fix this, we'll rely on you guys to give us some pointers on what we should do. I struck out in my Google searches. This is not a common issue at all. Not that I could find. I think Brian Pollock was even looking at like Identifix and stuff for me and wasn't seeing anything. But we get a lot of eyes on our content, and then you guys jump in, and I'm never surprised by the amount of knowledge you guys have, so it's pretty cool. So I know on the GMs, what causes the miscalculation is small fill-ups. So you put 5 gallons of fuel in at a time, and then short trips. So if you only drive a couple miles, it's not enough time for the system to learn the alcohol content. Probably similar here. At least GM gave you a reset procedure. This one doesn't. No, there's no mass airflow sensor in this engine, so I can run it without putting this all back together. It looks like these are just grommets and stuff. But I do want the intake air temp sensor plugged in, which is this guy up here. Now, if this was a MAF, if this was a MAF engine, it'd be a little different. This would be critical to get all this back together the way it should be, but I'm not overly concerned. This is just in preps for if we do get it running, we're gonna go drive it. So that's what we have to do to get this to truly learn. Taking this fuel line back off. I'm gonna go get my light out of my truck. Scan tool and bidirectional mode's probably the way to go. All right, 53 degrees, engine coolant, nothing crazy there, nothing that would cause a flooded condition. This 2.49 volts on the 0221 and the 0222, that 2.5 volts, that's normal bias on these. Cold engine, got our injector pulse in there, a bunch of ethanol stuff, and in particular, my 85%, which is still there. Did I get my fuel level? 66%. Okay. Over here, Caleb, I'm gonna be taking this fuel line off. My hand's gonna be in the way, but that's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay. See my rigged up stuff? Fatter adapter, going down to a thinner one. That's why I needed this piece. And then I just have a T here. I just blocked it off. So we're not gonna be under pressure, so I'm not too worried about like hose clamps and stuff. And we're gonna be standing right here, but that'll go in there. This will go on the car. Okay, should be good. All right, let's go, turn it on. Here we go. Fuel is flowing. I'm gonna wrap a shock rod around that. It's just, we have a wood stove.
You're just gonna take out that 5?
I'm taking this 5 out and then I'm putting it back in. I need the computer to recognize a tank level increase. And we'll shut that off, that's good. Okay, exit out of there. All right, so key off now. I just turned the key off. I just pushed the button. You missed that. Take this fuel line off. I think I wanna do, because I took fuel out and there was a drop, I don't want the computer remembering it, having any memory. So I think I want to do another cap discharge. So that's just battery disconnect, touch leads together. So that's coming up next. This is a new battery too. That's right, he said that. So negative off, really all you need. Don't need to take both terminals off if it'll reach. Take that bad boy over, touch it on the positive. A warning for this, some cars have smaller backup batteries, like for your start-stop systems, and yeah, you wanna be careful. Make sure you don't have more than one battery on your car when you're doing a cap discharge like that. This 2011, this is my only battery. What I am interested in, without doing a configuration here, is I'm interested in my ethanol percentage, just to see if it possibly changed. No, still 85%. And then my fuel level is 41%. So we went down a significant amount. That's good. Okay, so key off now, so with the key on, computer registered the fuel level, right? So key's off now. So now I'm getting gas, right? I hate these like EPA freaking cans. They are so stupid. More gas spills happen because of these than anything. Come on, Danner.
Does it change, Paul? Does it change, or is it going to?
Well, I'm hoping with this, it's not going to change until we start it. I'm hoping to get it to go into a learn mode. Right. And once I get it into a learn mode, then I'll just go drive it. Right. I hope this works. Be a really great video if it works. It'll be a really stupid video if it doesn't. Go to the dealer. Those words never come out of my mouth. Those dealer techs see a 2011, they'll be just as lost. I'm serious. Like, this is ancient to those guys. They work within a 5 to 6 year model year range typically. Did you get that?
More gas spills happen because of these than anything.
The last part of this is just pouring weird. Sorry for all the gas smell now. Okay. I'm gonna wait till they're done to try to start this. But I just wanna see my tank level real quick. See if we're kind of come back up to 66%. Yeah, back up to 66%. Let's customize this, but let me just see the ethanol here. See if just that process alone did anything with the percentage. I don't think so. I think it's got to run. Yeah, we're still showing 85%. What do you think, Pete? Can I try to start it? Are you sure? Probably should do pedal to the floor, clear flood crank is what I should do. Cross our fingers, this starts. Pedals to the floor now. Come on, come on, come on, come on. This thing's gonna flood immediately again. Damn. If I can't get it running, I can't relearn the damn thing. Yeah. I need to take those other plugs out. But I don't want it to flood anymore. I was gonna maybe unplug the injectors. Brian mentioned doing that. I'll try one more time. Come on. I'm still at 85%. Right there. Get a shot of all the smoke coming out of the tailpipe, Caleb. Smell it. Stinks. Stinks. Smells like brake clean. That's what we're smelling. 2 of the injectors anyway. We'll have some injector codes. I'm washing my hands of this, Pete. I've done everything I can. I hate to say it, but I'm saying it. I mean, even if you did pull the intake and pull the other plugs out, there's no guarantee it's gonna run. Not with the pulse width being commanded with this ethanol. Let's see what that is. Not that I have a number that I can tell you what normal cranking injector pulse width would be, but you see we're looking at these numbers here. Those 6 data parameters you guys can look at. I plugged those injectors back in too. I don't even know what that number is. Oh, it's microseconds. Let me get a graph of that. What was that number? Pause that. Initial pulse width. Yeah, dude, no freaking wonder it's flooding out. 195,808 microseconds. So that would be what? So it's 195 milliseconds of launch. It's either 19.5 or 195. I'm sorry, my math sucks. Either way, 20 millisecond pulse width. That's why this thing's not starting. 20 is gonna flood the shit out of it. This should be like 5. And even extended cranking. So at that point, 7.8, I think. It's ridiculous. And then we get down to a more normal number. Even down in here, we're at 16. I think it's 3 decimal places, so I don't even know what that number is. It's like a huge number. That'd be 16.2 milliseconds there, and that means that this truly, that is 187 milliseconds. I can't be right. Either way, this pulse width is too much because our ethanol number is too high, and I can't reset it. And I can't make it run to reset it. Okay, pedals on the floor. That's why I had no pulse width there. I'm gonna keep trying that. I'm not gonna let my foot off the gas. It's giving a little shot of fuel at the end, but not cranking. I'm just gonna keep, my foot is on the gas pedal the whole time, not letting it go. Just to show you the difference, here's my foot off the gas pedal. So we had fuel the whole time. That was weird, the initial cranking. It's totally different now. Like this huge number over here, these are more normal numbers probably, but still way too much. Like that number right there is still 49 milliseconds of on time. Like you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Show you how flooded this thing's gonna be. Yeah, I'll rotate. Once you get focused, I'll rotate it so the light kind of shines. Can you see the wetness of it? Like this thing's never gonna run. This is never gonna run. So, how wet that is, I'm definitely gonna unplug the injectors. Look at the smoke coming out of the cylinder. Think there's fuel in there? You could probably light that, it would catch on fire. That would be kind of interesting. I feel like the whole shop would possibly blow up though, too. Okay, well, unplug those two injectors, not give those anything. We'll pull the plugs back out of this side. I need a better oil can, Pete. I told Caleb what our plan was. I told all of you what our plan was. I told him before he left the house, I'm like, here's what we're gonna do. And if it doesn't work, we're just walking away. Caleb's like, no, we're not. You know me too well. Like, I can't let this go. Like, it's stupid. This is ridiculous. I can't get this stupid PCM to cooperate. Say, yo, we're not running off of alcohol. Maybe putting E85 in this would be the answer, right? I'd have to drain the tank. I'd have to drain the tank and fill it with E85. And then it would run normal. Got a better oil can? Sweet. I need to clean these plugs again, Pete. You want to hook me up?
You gonna crank it without it?
I should, huh?
Oh, yes,
I should crank it without it, but problem is I can't really cut injection pulse all the way, even though even a clear flood pedal to the floor, I'm still getting pulse. I got the injectors unplugged on this side, 2 of them anyway. I should do that. Let's get that other one. That's soaking wet. I cannot unplug this fuel injector. Okay, not unplugging that one. It's gonna stay there. I don't care. You stay here. I'm gonna crank it and just kind of tell me how much fuel comes out of there. You ready? What did it look like?
You can't really see it. I mean, it wasn't like cloudy.
We didn't have like liquid fuel coming out. Okay, I had Pete bead blast the plugs for me. The problem with leaving the injectors unplugged is if I do get it running, it's not going to be long before I need the injectors plugged back in. And I can't really do both of those. I'm going to try to get that last injector unplugged again. I don't want any fuel on this side at all, just what's in the intake. Trying to unplug this injector again.
That final one.
Yeah, I just can't get my hand on it really. You gotta pull the clip back and then you can depress this release mechanism. I have the clip pulled. I'm pushing the release mechanism, but it's not releasing. Here, you're up, Pete.
I just did these.
Watch the master. You get it? Yeah, watch the master work. That was Pete right there. Okay. Coils we want put back in. Injectors we don't. All right, all 3 injectors are unplugged on this side. I'm gonna see if I can start it. It's not even trying. That left side's so flooded.
Was your foot on the throttle?
I was moving it back and forth. Plugging the injectors back in. Before I try to start it anymore, I want to get this outside because it's really bad in here. You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Come on. 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 Oh, dude. So close. I know those plugs are soaking wet again. Well, we're going to title this one, We Couldn't Fix It. That's your title. And we'll get to hear from everyone else how to fix it. But it'll be too late because it'll be weeks before we get this produced and everyone thinks the car's still there and we can fix it, and we can't fix it. Well, I think I'm done. There's nothing else I can do. I can't get it out of this mode. There's no freaking way that my injector on time should be as long as it is. Just to give you guys perspective, like I've seen coolant temp sensors at minus 40, which will flood an engine immediately. And I've seen in the past, during that situation, injector on times that are in the 20 millisecond range. So I also know that that's a pretty wide pulse width for any car. And we're seeing some ridiculous injector on times. This is just the #1 fuel injector. If I could keep that pulse width down, like what even is this number? Look at this. You guys help me out. This is microseconds. That should be 16 milliseconds right there. It should be. And I just, I don't believe these numbers, because is it even possible to have 158 millisecond pulse width? Because that's what that is. 158 milliseconds. I didn't even know it was possible for the computer to issue that kind of command. And even that one there, that's 41 milliseconds. That's 158 milliseconds of on time. Why is the car not starting? Because we're issuing 158 millisecond on time injector pulse.
That's a really long time.
That's not even a number it should even be allowed to do. It ain't gonna start. The pulse width is 158 milliseconds. This should be about 4 or 5 milliseconds long of pulse width.
Right.
It's 158. And even in the area where it's like somewhat normal, it's not even normal, because even in a clear flood crank, I'm still getting 50 millisecond shots of fuel. It's flooding it immediately.
Right.
I can't reset the number. I don't have what it takes to reset the fuel trim on this. And even if I were to pull the intake and pull those other 3 plugs, it would immediately flood back out.
Right.
So stupid that like battery disconnect wouldn't reset that too.
Right.
Okay, I'm done. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, there's only so much I can do. And like, I have no real true investment in this car other than you guys. That's it. Like, I don't get paid for these anymore. You guys are the ones that pay me by watching the videos. We don't charge for what we're doing. I'm trying to help my friend out. And I just don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. I just don't have what it takes. I've been watching Lost lately. It's what Jack Shepard's dad always said to him.
Oh.
You don't have what it takes.
Oh.
So that's like fresh in my mind.
Really random.
I do not have what it takes. So I'm anxious to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm sure we'll get a lot of comments on this one. I did not fix it. What do we do? What are your suggestions? Would be great to get them right now. Unfortunately, it's going to be a couple weeks before I see them. Hope you guys learned something. I'm not sure that we did. Maybe. Guys, thanks for joining us. We didn't fix it. See you next time.
It's cold.
That's bullshit. I can't believe we're walking away from this. That last comment you should have kept. It would have made for a nice closing. Like even like off camera, just voice.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm still rolling.
oh, is it? Oh, sweet. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Good job, cameraman.
Thank you.
All right, I'm stopping this recording.